I'm up at 5 a.m. to go swimming because I'm done with allowing my own personal beauty standards to dictate how I live my life. I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you are in the world. My name is Misako, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video today. A few weeks ago, I shared on here that I had started swimming classes, and I did not expect to fall in love with it the way that I have, and I have never been more excited to wake up at 5 a.m. and get into a pool. Becoming a good swimmer is something I've always wanted to do, and I didn't expect it to feel this great. Like, other than dance, I can't think of another sport that I enjoy doing this much. My body loves it, my mind loves it, I'm so present, I love the challenge, everything about it I really, really enjoy. And with all that being said, and this is embarrassing to admit, but if you're a Black woman watching, I know you will understand this. I got my hair braided a few weeks ago, and I shared that process on here as well. And because I got it freshly braided and I want it to last as long as possible, I stopped going because I didn't want to mess up my freaking hair, which is ironic because I got braids so that I wouldn't have to think about it when it came to sports and activities, but water-related things are just like a different category. But anyway, I know how silly this is. Like, I recognize that. And even leading up to my appointment, I felt this like internal battle of knowing how much I was enjoying this thing, being so excited to do it, and knowing that I was probably going to stop for a little bit because I didn't want to mess up my hair. But I'm going back this morning. It's been a little over 2 weeks, and I'm just sick of allowing these silly personal beauty standards that I have for myself hold me back in my life. I'm not going to let anyone or anything, let alone the style of my hair, keep me from living the life that I want. But this dilemma, I guess not really a dilemma, but this got me thinking about how I'm just sort of sick of thinking about like beauty and beauty standards and feeling like I have to maintain a certain level of it. I'm sick of everything being about beauty and stopping the aging process and how to get your hair to look a certain way. And then I feel like there's another layer of this, like being a Black woman, feeling like my hair has to meet a certain standard at all times in order for me to be like accepted by society. So I want to dive into all of that and more today, but first I want to go dive into the pool because that's why I got up this morning. That sounded way cooler and smoother in my mind. You know, I was really like ready to share that. I had that one cooking. It didn't sound as cool when I said it, but hopefully someone out there appreciates it. Okay, it's time to go.
I need to step back. Constantly online, causing me setbacks.
I just got back from swimming. Unfortunately, the instructor said I could not film in the pool. I tried to film a little when everyone's out of the pool, but he said I couldn't film today. Just know though, I was giving Little Mermaid in that water, the Holly Bailey version, of course. And in honor of today's video, I'm coming to you fresh-faced. All I have on is moisturizer and chapstick. I don't typically wear a lot of makeup, a little cover up under the eyes and blush highlighter, but I'm coming to you raw today. I can't tell you, and frankly, I don't really want to sit and think about how many times I've skipped out on certain things because I didn't want to mess up my hair. This was more so in my, you know, pressed, swooping, metro station playing days. Like when I was wearing my hair straight, my hair ruled my life so much more than it does today. But even now, like with the swimming thing, it still plays a factor. And I know that there are so many of you watching this who can relate to what I'm saying. Maybe your thing isn't your hair, maybe it's your makeup. Like, how many times have you skipped out on events because you didn't want to mess up your makeup, or you didn't want to risk someone seeing you without makeup? Or even like, I think about how there were certain things that I wanted to do, but I prioritized like my hair appointment over that thing that would have brought me so much more joy. And that's the crazy thing about all of this, is like most of the time we're not even really enjoying the process of doing these things. And let me stop myself, because I do know that there are a lot of you out there that do enjoy doing makeup and the art of it and doing hair and trying new hairstyles. I'm not here to shade anyone or to say that like you should stop doing these things that bring you joy. I'm more so speaking to people who are doing these things to uphold a certain standard that they're tired of upholding. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like we don't live in a society and culture that is super obsessed with beauty and looks and just like in a vapid world. Coming from Los Angeles, one of the most image and beauty obsessed places in the world, I know that the way that we show up in the world and present ourselves has a real impact on the opportunities we do or don't get. Let me close this curtain because the lighting is about to be crazy. Aside from the external pressure I feel from the world to like show up and look a certain way, I know for me personally, a lot of the pressure and weight I feel around beauty and how I need to present myself comes from watching the women in my family be so incredibly hypercritical of their image, of their hair, of their bodies. And the body topic is like, can be its whole, own video, but that is part of this. And fortunately, I grew up around women who were never like picking me apart, but watching how they picked themselves apart was enough to rub off on me. And I'm just like repeating the pattern now. This pattern of feeling the need to appear as perfect and as manicured as possible. And as a woman of color, I already feel like I have to work 10 times harder than my white counterparts for the same opportunities. And this idea that like, well, maybe if I show up in this way, that will increase my chances. And it's just exhausting. The beauty standard for women to just appear flawless and like we don't age. And I just want to say, and I know that there are a lot of people out there who are not going to agree with what I'm about to say. This idea that the whole plastic surgery, cosmetic surgery, Botox fillers, that because we have a choice in this and that we can tweak our bodies to, look however we want, that this is liberation, I just don't agree with it. Because what are we really doing this for? Like, you're telling me if we were alone and no one was around, that we would still be putting ourselves in harm's way to like have these cosmetic surgeries. And I understand that people have insecurities that they don't want to deal with anymore, and that there are so many ways to address that. And the US is so specific in that way. Like, our obsession with having like the perfect smile and the perfect skin and the perfect body and like the perfect natural curl or straight hair, like it's not like that in a lot of places around the world. And it's so distracting from like what's really happening in the world. And I'm not above this. My thing is my hair. Like, I feel like that's the thing I'm obsessed about. I've never been like a huge makeup person, but yeah, I'm like constantly thinking about whether my hair looks the way I want it. And when it comes to like dating and sleeping over at someone's place and then waking up and knowing my edges aren't gonna look a certain way or as late as I want them to, or I'm not like having my scarf, like it's so silly. And then this made me think about this whole natural movement, because I do feel like that's a wave that is happening as well, to not wear makeup or to wear your hair in its natural state. And I love that. But I feel like this only applies to certain people. We would always say like, why is her free more socially acceptable than my free? I'll use the hair example. Actually, I'll use the example of lip gloss, who was on TikTok. She was creating this beautiful movement of just embracing her natural 4C hair, not wearing makeup, just showing up in the world as she is, and they ran her off that app. They were dragging her, talking so negatively about her because she was trying to go against the societal pressure of having to like contort her hair in a certain way, and people ridiculed her for it. Natural comes with so much like ridicule and questions and comments, like that almost feels more exhausting. And then there's the cost of all of this, not only money but time. Also, like, this industry is ruining the environment. It costs you relationships because you don't want to let yourself be seen without a certain layer, and relationships and love require vulnerability. The energy cost, like thinking about this, physically doing all of this, it's just like I keep saying, it's exhausting. It's so exhausting and it's so wasteful. And like I said earlier, I know there are people out there that genuinely enjoy doing the art of makeup, learning how to do new things, learning how to do things with their hair. Like this message is more so for the folks like myself who feel kind of trapped by this. And if you don't know which side of the spectrum you're on, I want you to ask yourself, like, are you truly doing this for joy, for you? And if no one was around, would you still be doing these things? I know that I wouldn't. Does that mean I'm never going to wear another inch of makeup again? No. What I'm not going to do is allow my hair to dictate what activities I do or don't do. Like, I'm going to be getting in that pool. I'm going to be taking surf lessons. I'm going to be going to my hot Pilates classes, even if that means my hair is going to be a little frizzy. That's fine. I have let my hair run my life for way too long, and I'm not going to enter my 30s with that same mentality. I'm going to release myself. I didn't move to a new country to let these box braids run my life. And like I said before, like, I got braids because they allow me not to think about my hair. Like, that's why I'm so obsessed with this style, because I have never been someone who's enjoyed like the process of beauty in any way. And so I'm going to like lean into the reason that I did this so I don't have to think about it. I encourage you in whatever way that makes sense for you to think about how you can free yourself from these patterns and like ways you've been limiting yourself when it comes to beauty as well. In the comments below, I would love to know your thoughts. You don't have to agree with me, but let me know what you're thinking about this topic. And if you're interested in following someone who talks a bit more about this in depth, my friend Ayanda, her TikTok is Ayanda Stood. She is so well versed and like she speaks so eloquently about this in a way that I just can't. I really think you should check her TikTok page out. Thank you so much for pressing play on today's video. Also, let me know if you're liking the longer style of video. I want to talk more about the topics that I bring to my channel, and so I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for showing up for me. Thank you for being patient with me. And as always, thank you for being here.